Imagine trying to help a client who is constantly feeling queasy, fatigued, lightheaded, with no clear reason why. That was my challenge. And after a couple months of searching for answers, we discovered the underlying cause. And here's how we overcame that together. Hi, everyone. My name is Carly Schroeder. Welcome to Roots in Fertility. I am a functional nutrition coach, personal trainer, yoga instructor, and your fertility coach. And today I'm talking about the challenging experience that I have recently faced with one of my clients. Helping them overcome persistent nausea and vomiting was a tough journey. And through an investigation and a tailored treatment program, we're actually able to improve their quality of life significantly. I want to share this story so that the strategies that we can use, you can also implement in your life. So my client was experiencing nausea, coming and going, and vomiting. And it was just an underlying feeling of nauseous. It wasn't that it was painful, but it was just extremely uncomfortable. So the feeling in the chest, the upper abdomen, the back of the throat, and sometimes it actually led to vomiting, which made their condition even worse. And so the loss of the appetite, the headaches then, diarrhea and abdominal pain and fatigue. So it was time to dive in and figure out the cause. And after numerous doctor visits and inconclusive tests, we realized that there was a trigger for the nausea. Some of the possible causes were due to the medications, pain or pregnancy, motion sickness, viral infections, stress, migraines, hormonal changes, and more. For my client, it turned out to, of course, be a combination of dietary issues, stress, and hormonal changes. So some of the symptoms they experienced was vomiting, the loss of appetite, the queasy stomach, the headache, feeling lightheaded, diarrhea, abdominal pain, and fatigue. And the secondary symptoms that came along with it was dehydration from vomiting and dry lips and sunken eyes, that rapid but weak pulse, feeling like she was lightheaded from not doing too much exercise, feeling really cold extremities. So what did we do? We had to not only manage the nausea, but actually fix it. And so this is what worked with her. We started making lifestyle changes and started to incorporate more mindful practices that would help her relax. She was doing way too much, and her workload was spread out so wide. So he started to work with those techniques first and foremost. Then we started to work with the sleep patterns and making sure that we gave her body the ideal time and got her synced to her circadian rhythm. We also focused on proper hydration, and we're not just using water, but adding in coconut water and taking out like the Gatorades and these other false ideas of something that was going to hydrate her, and it was actually causing worse issues in the GI tract. So focusing on the electrolytes and water. We also focused on having a nutrient-dense diet, so adding in fresh juices and simple smoothies and bone broths, and avoiding acidic foods like coffee and chocolate and sugar and tomatoes and alcohol and dairy. And so that was huge for her. Then we added in the bitters, bringing in ginger, tea, and gummies to help with nausea, and then also supporting the gut with probiotics and prebiotics, using our fermented foods to help to feed the microbiome. So one route you can do to start to understand is some possible functional testing. And first, rule out if pregnancy is what is causing the sickness. Next, you can look for a CBC and check and see if there's an infection. Also, you can do a hydrochloric acid challenge by actually adding in some baking soda and drinking it to see if there's enough stomach acid in the gut. So obviously dealing with nausea and vomiting can be really frustrating for clients, and if it's for you, I'm sorry. Take a comprehensive approach to treatment and it will make a world of difference. So not just looking at the signs and symptoms and trying to get it to stop, but actually asking questions and trying out different strategies to figure out what works. When you start to notice, asking questions for yourself, when is it happening? Is it after a really stressful morning? Is it after a poor night's sleep? Is it after certain foods? When you start to ask these kinds of questions, you're going to be able to dive down into the root of the problem of the dysfunction and actually start to heal. So nausea doesn't have to haunt you throughout your day when you're trying to enjoy adventures with your family. You can get rid of it for good, but it has to be that comprehensive, holistic approach to healing. Thank you so much for joining and listening in. If you have questions about nausea yourself, or you're supporting somebody who struggles with nausea and you need more tips and tricks, leave a comment below. I'd love to help and lean in with you. If you haven't done so already, one way to support me in this channel is just clicking that red subscribe button. It's free to you and it helps support me as I continue to create more and more content and value for you. Have a great day. Aloha.